Hey, I'm here today with Kaaren Hall from UDirect. Hi, Kaaren. Thank you for joining us today.
Good.
I know
Thanks for having me.
we're doing a FaceTime live for anybody that is out there or wants to sit in on this. We're going to get to know Kaaren a little bit, have her talk about, well, for one thing, our past, how we've met, and talk about UDirect, her business. She's the CEO of a beautiful self-directed IRA company, and talk a little bit about her special appearance at Ignite Your Fire Within, our WREN event that's happening March 23rd. Welcome to the show, Kaaren.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good today. It's a little overcast, and I was really enjoying the sun yesterday. But you know what? It makes me feel a little cozy, cuddly today, so it's nice.
I had chicken soup for lunch. It was, it's so cozy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
full on eating here in Orange County.
Yeah, totally. So, it's interesting when I was thinking about interviewing you today, I was thinking about our first WREN meeting, which I don't even know if I think I had, captured the words, the Women's Real Estate Network. And I reached out to you and I think like 10 or 11 other women and said, hey guys, want to go to brunch in downtown LA? And you said yes. And we didn't know each other that well at that point. And I was so glad that you said yes. And there was a lot of other women there. And I know that I walked away from that brunch just like energized and felt like, wow, this is a cool tribe, right?
It changed my life at that brunch.
All right, tell us about that.
Well, so we're having this great brunch and lots of good things inside, conversations, getting to know people. But we all started talking about investing, and you challenged me because for all the years prior, I'd been building UDirect is focused, on UDirect. And you said, well, are you a real estate investor? It's like, no. Okay, you need to buy a property. I'm like, okay, so you challenged me to buy a property. And sure enough, I think it was like a couple months later, by that time I had acquired a rental property in Manhattan, Kansas, where my son went to college. So, so I did it. It's a full-on rental.
You did. And here's what I love. Like, we challenged you and you were up for the challenge. You're like, okay, it's time to do this.
And you're so right. I mean, it's like, if I've been in the real estate industry, I can't, oh my gosh, like over 20 years, and if even more than that. And so if I can't do it, nobody can, because whatever, I can do it is the point.
You know what though? I think that what you're talking about though is generally pretty common. When people have full-time jobs, you get wrapped up in that and you're focused in that, and you're focused in doing that. Yeah. And you forget sometimes about like, oh, wait a second, I need to actually also focus on, what investments are really good for me, And sometimes you need somebody to kind of go, hey, what are you doing? Get out there and start investing.
Well, hey, here's what I did. It's kind of a cool story, given my background in mortgage. So I found this property, and it was, I think, like 144. Okay, and it's a 3-bedroom house.
Nice.
So we go in, and it was rock bottom of the market. I mean, it was an under market price. So we go in and we offered $3,000 more. We offer 147. Okay. So what we did is we took that extra $3,000 and put it toward closing costs.
Oh.
So I came in with $1,000 cash, and then the $3,000 of extra. And then at closing, I brought in another $3,000 of cash, so $4,000 cash on cash. And then after we closed, I hired a crew to come in and change the 3-bedroom house into a 4-bedroom. We got permits and all this. I said, tell them the crazy lady from California said, you got to have permits, because they thought, no, we don't need them. And it's like, no, but you do. Because I know, you got to have them. So we changed the 3-bedroom house into a 4-bedroom house. So my son lived in one room. And the other 3, like one of the rooms was his truck payment, and the other 2 rooms were the mortgage payment. And
it got him through college.
It totally paid for itself. And so that was his house. It cost me $4,000 to house him for like 4 years, because he's still there actually.
Right. Okay. So I'm just going to make a point and say, all you women out there who think, how am I going to afford college for my son? Housing is really one of the largest expenses, right? listen to how Kaaren and her son just did it, right?
That's the school, you know, it was Kansas, but it was a really good school, and he was an athlete, and he had a partial scholarship. Couldn't be better. Best.
Right. I mean, it's amazing what real estate can do, right? The freedoms that it can allow you, and it allowed him the freedom of going to college and not having to worry about a place to stay.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? Let's talk about your background. You said you have a background in the mortgage industry, but obviously that's not what you're doing. So how did you make a transition, and when did you make the transition to UDirect?
Wow. Okay. So, well, I just quick, you know, college, right? And then radio for 17 years, long time.
Okay.
And that was, yeah, lots of, I know. Yeah, I was radio, TV, and film. But then I made the logical transition into real estate when I lived in Seattle. So I managed an apartment building and was on the air, you know, doing both at the same time. And then I got my real estate license and was a realtor for a year, like driving people around. No, that's for somebody else. God bless you. If you do that, you are a saint. It is tough, but good for you. So I did that for a year and became the trailing spouse. So he kept getting promoted and transferred, so I kept moving. But then I got into mortgage loan servicing for about 8 years and origination for about another 8 years. So, you know, all that. And then in 2007, boom, we all know what happened to the economy. So I'm looking for a JOB, you know, a not mortgage loan origination anymore. And so a friend of mine said, hey, I know this company they're hiring was a self-directed IRA company. They picked me up, they hired me, and they said, we want you to open 50 accounts a quarter, right? So I'm like, so I open 50 accounts a month.
And, oh my gosh, because that's the kind of overachiever you are.
And by the time, and then they walked in one day and said, we have to let you go. I'm like, oh, okay. And it turned out they had a business issue, and they had let go of some other highly compensated people, and so that was their choice. So there you go. So so here it is, 2009 at this point, and it's how sometimes the hardest thing is the best thing that ever happens to you. 2 kids, you know, recession, no job, a mortgage payment. Like, what am I going to do? It's kind of a panic, and the only way out was through. You know, it's like it's like I need to make a decision, like we were just talking about offline. So the decision is, let's go for it. What do I have to lose? I mean, let's go ahead trying to open a self-directed IRA company. And long story short, here we are. We're in our 10th year now. And
oh, congratulations. I forgot you guys just had your anniversary.
Yeah, coming up in August, yeah. And so now we've got about 5,000 accounts and about $500 million in assets.
Wow.
And it's great. It's just great.
So did you know then, when you thought, I'm going to start my own company, that you would be in it 10 years later and have grown to the amount that you've grown to at that point?
You know, you hope, and you have projections, and I had a business plan, and I had a spreadsheet, and I could see the potential, but it's just the challenges along the way. Like, okay, and there were several, and I got through them, each little hurdle or big hurdle, and so we're still here. So, yeah, we live to self-direct another day.
You know, you and I were talking before this interview started about making decisions, and it's like one decision at a time. It's just like how your day goes, right? And it's like, okay, well then I'm just going to step through this, and I'm going to answer this email this way and see how it happens, you know, and you just go forward. And I think for me, I think that's how WREN has been. You know, I'm obviously, you know, I'm a real estate investor primarily, but the Women's Real Estate Network started taking on a life of its own. And honestly, God, this is, you know, super selfish of me, but I really have enjoyed the process of helping other people. Like I get off on that, right? And so it's like, wow, the more women that come out, the more women that see the possibilities of what real estate can do for them, the more women that come to me with stories about, you know, how much support or resources that they've received from our environment. It's great. Now, I know that you've spoken at our chapter meetings. For those of you that don't know, we have 5 chapters: Seattle, Los Angeles, Orange County, where you also have your own club, OCREA. Right. And in fact, I think you have a club meeting tonight.
Yes.
So that's cool. So woo. Shout out to OCREA. And we also have chapters in San Diego and Phoenix. And I know that you haven't been able to make it to one of our Ignite events. So let me just take the opportunity to tell you what to expect. First of all, we have 3 different panels that are going to be showing up, and you're on our team panel, as part of the team that you need to go forward in real estate. We have a panel that's specializing in chunk money. So it's flipping, it's wholesaling, it's non-performing notes, it's ways to get chunks of money to reinvest or to live off of. And then we have one panel that's specializing in cash flow. So that is about single family, multifamily, storage units, performing notes, all kinds of different ways to get cash flow. And then we have the team panel, and the team panel is you and an attorney and an accountant and the people that you need to put everything together. And a lot of us have had IRAs that maybe are just sitting there, or maybe have taken a plummet in the market. And maybe you want a little more control over it and feel like, investing in paper is one thing, investing in an asset that's, got roots and ground, is something different. And, a lot of people don't even understand that they can do that with their IRA and become self-invested. So, you're part of the team panel. And what we encourage people to do that are participants at Ignite is to reach out, to keep your eye on the people on the panels, because, what I want to let you know is that you are going to be directly available to everybody, just like all of our speakers.
Yes.
At lunch, we have a beautiful lunch that's served in this gorgeous garden room. It has all windows and a garden outside with a little waterfall. It's really beautiful. And at lunch, you can go and sit. We set a speaker at every lunch table, and then you can go and sit with whatever speaker that you want to get more information from. Because the point of this is accessibility, right? How many of us have been to conferences or one-day events where we haven't really had access to the people who are speaking at the front of the stage? And that's one of the things that I really wanted to make sure that our participants got. So there's a little heads up for you, like,
that's a good idea. I love that.
Drink lots of water, because you're going to be yakking. Bring lots of cards.
Water, I'm ready.
Totally. And then we have all these panelists. We're going to have a bunch of sponsors. In fact, I think you're going to have a table there as well. Right. So we're going to have a bunch of sponsors. And this year, if you go around all the sponsors and get your little sheet signed off on, you get entered into a drawing that the prize is a 4-day Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within event. So we're making that big because we really want people to visit our sponsors. I feel like the people that are joining us in our sponsor area are not really sponsors. They're partners. They're people that we've done business with. They're people that we trust. They're people that, we feel like have the same integrity, the same ideology that we have. And in that, we really want to make sure that, that the participants get to visit, all the sponsors, and get those resources as well, right? I mean, that's what this is about. And then, of course, it ends with a no-host cocktail party.
Say no more. There we go.
Right. Yeah, more time for talking and a little time for drinking.
And that'll be how great also to just really connect with everybody. That's what I love. And, because it's all about a community. When you need resources. When I started UDirect, I needed resources. I touched into the community and found resources that I needed. And they're all different kinds of resources, people and money and recommendations, and you just need connections. And this is a great idea.
Yeah, you really do need connections. And I know that for me, some of the women that I connect with, I'm financial friends with. We lend money to each other. We, help each other out financially on projects. Some of them are totally like resources. What do I do about this problem or that problem? Or do you have somebody you can recommend to help me with a foundation issue or whatever it is? I mean, we all need those kind of that kind of support. And I think that this community is what's fostering that. And what I like too is that the women that come to our community, some of them might be newbies, but there's also a good mix of women who have been in real estate and are taking their real estate to the next level, or are looking to advance further. And I think,
I've known them for a decade, so I know they've got lots and lots of experience under their belts. I mean, and they were doing it way before I met them. So you've got such a seasoned panel. It's great, or group of speakers.
Oh my gosh, our speakers are we have a second day that we're offering. It's for WREN members only. It's an intensive. Some of our membership has come to us and said, I want more meat and potatoes, you know, and so we've decided to add on a second day that is just that. They'll walk away with a blueprint of where they need their portfolio to be, what assets to be in, and how to go get them. And if anybody is interested in needing more information on that, just direct message me and I'll get it over to you, and you know, we can go from there. So yeah, so that's all that's going on at WREN, at the Ignite event. So I wanted to, you know, make sure you knew, and everybody out there knows what's going on, and everybody knows about you and what you have to offer and what UDirect has to offer. You know, I know that you do a lot. You do all kinds of different IRAs, you know, regular, checkbook, all that kind of stuff. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, or give a little teaser?
Give you, like, if you think about it, in IRAs in America, right? $9.2 trillion in IRAs in America, and only like 3-4% of that I know is tapped into alternative assets. So if you have even an old 401k from a previous company or an IRA today, you can take that money, you can roll it over or transfer it, and boom, you're self-directed. And now you can get involved in the notes and the raw land and the multifamilies and the ADUs or whatever. I know you're going to hear an ADU speak, you know, talk tonight, or single family, whatever it is, alternative assets. You can now, your IRA can buy that. Now you don't get the money now; it grows tax-free or tax-deferred, so that when you retire, you can retire in comfort and you can relax and have peace of mind knowing that you built a future for yourself.
Oh, okay, you just said some of my favorite words: tax-free and tax-deferred.
Are you writing checks this week too, huh?
Oh man. Right, and that's the way you want to grow your money, right? So that, you know, when I get to the age when I want to access that cash, I don't have to worry about taxes.
Right, and there it is. You got to build a nest egg. You know, for all of us, there's like a huge retirement crisis coming up, and we've got so many people turning 65. 10,000 people turn 65 every day, and maybe it's not you, but it's somebody. And so, right, and it's just going to keep going. So everybody needs to build for retirement. A lot of these people are unprepared. So like, okay, so if you had, right, I'll probably say this at the event, but if you had $100,000 in a retirement account, you're thinking, that's good, I got some money. Think about it. If you like retire at 59 and a half and you live till you're 86 and a half, and you take an even payment every month of that $100,000, you just have just under $400 a month to live on.
Oh, did anybody else get surprised like I did?
Yeah. So you need to save for retirement. And what better way than real estate? I mean, real estate or these alternative assets, because it's a great way. Like, what did you call it? Like chunk money or something?
Yeah, chunk money.
Yeah, where you get like, yeah. And then take it and roll it into the next deal and keep compounding and compounding without it being finished by tax until you have some serious money to retire.
Okay, thank you for those nuggets, and I want to stop right there because I want to let people know that you're going to get more of those nuggets at Ignite Your Fire Within on March 23rd, and I think that's all I have to say. Are you complete?
I'm good. But if anybody has any questions, they can reach me at udirectira.com.
Fabulous. Great. Well, then we'll see you later, and thank you so much for joining us today, Kaaren.
I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye.